the Pura Vida promise. Between the Caribbean and Pacific, a sliver of land exists where the extraordinary has become everyday. Costa Rica has pioneered an idea revolutionary in its simplicity, that protecting natural systems creates prosperity. While others debate sustainability, this nation lives it. This bridge between continents, housing nearly 6% of Earth's biodiversity, within just 0.03% of its landmass, asks us a profound question. What becomes possible when a nation, without a military, channels resources toward preservation rather than destruction? What happens when a country decides its greatest asset is not what can be extracted, but what remains intact? Since abolishing its armed forces in 1949, Costa Rica has protected nearly 30% of its land. Renewable energy powers 99% of its electrical grid. And Pura Vida isn't just a greeting. It's a commitment to a different relationship with the living world. In the coming hour, we'll journey from cloud forests to volcanic heartlands to pristine shorelines, discovering why this small country has become the world's laboratory for regenerative coexistence. Join us as we explore Costa Rica, where Pura Vida isn't just a saying, but a promise.
Welcome to another Cultureverse exclusive. Another journey into our extraordinary world.
We begin our journey at the roof of Costa Rica, where mountains gather clouds like wisdom. And time seems to slow in perpetual mist. What we're witnessing is not just weather, but a critical ecological phenomenon. These mountains physically capture passing clouds, creating one of Earth's rarest habitats, the cloud forest. Less than 1% of global woodlands exist in this state of perpetual moisture, where life adapts to extract water directly from the air itself. At the microscopic level, an extraordinary adaptation has evolved. Unlike traditional forests that draw water from soil, many cloud forest species have developed specialised tissues to drink directly from passing mist, an evolutionary solution found nowhere else on Earth with such diversity. Foliar absorption, as scientists call it, allows these forests to capture 6 times more moisture than falls as conventional rain, creating self-sustaining ecosystem of astonishing resilience. But Monteverde's most extraordinary secret emerges only after darkness falls. These forests harbour one of Earth's richest collections of bioluminescent fungi, living light that transforms the forest floor into a constellation of blue-green stars each night. This interplay of water, light and life creates not just a forest, but a cathedral of biological innovation, where evolution has pursued solutions found nowhere else on our planet.
If you see this subscribe button in the corner, click it. It's completely free, but helps us a lot.
These mountain forests capture more than clouds. They hold the key to Costa Rica's extraordinary biodiversity, providing water for countless species across the country. Their canopies reach upward, not just for sunlight, but to embrace the very clouds themselves. Monteverde exists in a perpetual embrace of clouds. Moisture-laden winds sweep over the continental divide, condensing into life-giving mist that defines this enchanted realm. Every surface drips with life. Trees wear thick coats of moss and epiphytes. Some plants here extract moisture directly from the air, never touching soil. This process, called foliar absorption, represents an evolutionary adaptation to the cloud forest's unique conditions. The Mayans revered one creature above all, the resplendent Quetzal. With iridescent plumage and flowing tail streamers, these birds were once considered more valuable than gold. The feathers reserved exclusively for nobility. Travellers, visiting between February and April. Monteverde offers one of Central America's best opportunities. To witness these legendary birds during nesting season. From hanging bridges, the forest's complex architecture becomes apparent. Like an ancient cathedral, the cloud forest rises in distinct layers, each supporting different communities. Suspended 40 metres above the forest floor. Let's play a game. Hidden in the forest are 15 different hummingbird species. How many can you spot in the next sequence? The cloud forest hums, with wing beats too rapid for human eyes to track. Each hummingbird species has evolved specialised bills shaped to extract nectar from specific flowers. Perfect example of co-evolutionary development. The blue morpho represents Costa Rica's most iconic insect. Its wings contain no blue pigment. The colour comes from microscopic scales that reflect light through structural coloration. The same physics that creates the blue of the sky. As afternoon progresses, shafts of golden light pierce the mist, illuminating particles suspended in air. This phenomenon creates a cathedral-like atmosphere beneath the canopy, inspiring both scientific inquiry and spiritual reflection. As day fades, clouds illuminated by setting sun create one of Earth's most spectacular displays. Gold and crimson vapours flowing between worlds, connecting Caribbean to Pacific in rivers of light. The answer to our hummingbird challenge? 12 distinct species, more than exist in all of North America. The cloud forest's remarkable diversity in such a confined area demonstrates the principle of ecological compression, where topographical complexity creates multiple habitat niches within minimal space. Waters of life. From misty heights we journey eastward into Costa Rica's volcanic heartland, where waters born in clouds flow through mineral-rich soils, transforming into something that challenges our understanding of natural colour. As we approach Rio Volcano National Park, the dense rainforest reveals glimpses of an otherworldly blue that seems to defy natural pigmentation. Chromatic anomaly arising from precise geological conditions found nowhere else in the world. Blue River's secret. There's a colour that doesn't belong in nature. It might be the electric blue of Rio Celeste. Like something from another planet, this river flows with an almost supernatural luminosity that has inspired both indigenous mythology and contemporary scientific investigation. Local legend holds that God washed his paintbrushes here after colouring the sky. Science explains it as my scattering, volcanic minerals in the water, reflect light in a way that eliminates red wavelengths and amplifies blue. This phenomenon demonstrates how physical chemistry creates perceptual experiences. that shape cultural narratives across generations. This is the exact spot where the magic happens. Where two clear streams meet and instantly create that surreal turquoise. It's one of few places on Earth where you can witness chemistry, transforming nature, before your eyes, making visible the normally invisible forces that shape our planet's appearance. Beyond the blue waters lie hidden volcanic features that reveal the powerful geothermal forces. Still active beneath the Earth's surface, these thermophilic environments host extremophile organisms. That challenge our understanding of life's boundaries. A well-maintained trail network makes these features accessible year-round, though morning visits avoid afternoon rain showers typical from May through November. Long before science explained the river's colour, indigenous Malaku people incorporated these minerals into ceremonial practices. The distinctive blue clay featured prominently in body painting and pottery. Representing one of countless examples where empirical observation embedded itself in cultural tradition. Recent research has revealed another layer to Rio Celeste's wonder. The river harbours unique microbial life found nowhere else. including newly identified bioluminescent bacteria that produce natural antibiotics. These microorganisms demonstrate how geographical isolation drives specialised evolutionary development, creating biological resources with potential significance for medical science. These microorganisms evolved in this extreme mineral-rich environment, developed compounds effective against antibiotic-resistant infections, highlighting why protecting unique ecosystems extends beyond their beauty to the preservation of undiscovered biological innovations with human applications. As daylight fades, the blue appears to intensify, its impossible colour deepening further, as if concentrating its essence before darkness. This daily cycle of light and colour demonstrates the perceptual nature of experience, where the interplay of physics, biology, and consciousness creates the world we perceive. This daily cycle of light and colour reminds us that extraordinary wonders still await discovery beyond well-travelled paths, natural phenomena that challenge our understanding and expand our conception of what's possible. Volcanic heartland. From hidden blue waters, we journey to Costa Rica's most iconic volcanic landscape. For millennia, these geological giants have shaped everything: soil, climate, ecology, and human settlement, demonstrating Earth's dynamic force, perpetual creation and destruction. Arenal dominates the landscape, a nearly perfect cone, rising 1,633 metres against the sky. For decades, it was Central America's most active volcano, its regular eruptions serving as both natural spectacle and scientific laboratory for volcanologists studying magmatic processes. While dormant since 2010, Arenal's presence remains imposing. A slumbering giant that has shaped this region's identity through both cultural mythology and economic reality. Fire and water. Morning light reveals Arenal in full glory, a symmetrical cone that would be at home in a child's drawing. This shape results from constant rebuilding during its active phase. And repeated eruptions continually refined its perfect geometry. Escaladas Trail crosses lava fields from the 1968 eruption. The solidified flows create an otherworldly landscape. Black rock frozen in wave-like formations, contrasting with vibrant forest, reclaiming the margins. This juxtaposition reveals the resilience of tropical ecosystems. And their capacity for rapid regeneration following catastrophic disturbance. This stark terrain offers a living laboratory in ecological succession. Pioneer species trap moisture and organic matter, gradually creating soil for larger plants. Nature's persistent reclamation, demonstrating the evolutionary adaptations that allow life to colonize seemingly inhospitable environments. Below stretches Lake Arenal, Costa Rica's largest inland body of water. This expanded reservoir generates significant renewable electricity while creating wind patterns that power Central America's largest wind farm. The integration of these complementary energy sources exemplifies Costa Rica's sophisticated approach to sustainable infrastructure development. Just beyond Arenal's shadow lies La Fortuna waterfall. This 70-metre cascade plunges through dense forest into a turquoise pool, creating a microclimate of perpetual mist that supports specialised plant communities. Accessible via a 20-minute hike down 500 steps. This natural wonder rewards visitors with swimming opportunities in refreshing pools below. Most spectacular during morning hours, and sunlight creates rainbows in the mist. While Arenal's eruptions have paused, its geothermal influence remains. Hot springs emerge, where groundwater contacts the volcano's cooling magma chambers, incorporating minerals from deep within Earth that create therapeutic properties recognised by both indigenous healing traditions and contemporary wellness science. As darkness envelops Arenal, the rainforest transforms. The iconic red-eyed tree frog embodies this nocturnal magic, its vivid colours, hidden during day, ruby eyes and brilliant flanks emerging at night as it hunts among foliage. Demonstrating evolutionary adaptations for both camouflage and predator deterrence. Dawn offers perhaps Costa Rica's most iconic image, perfect volcanic cone, reflected in still waters. With mist rising as first light touches the surface. This daily renewal speaks to the country's perpetual regeneration, where natural cycles continue largely uninterrupted despite human presence. Between fire and water, Arenal represents Costa Rica's elemental nature, a land forged through powerful forces, yet achieving harmony between destruction and creation, demonstrating geological and ecological processes that have shaped our planet for billions of years. Rainforest riddles. As we journey through Costa Rica's remarkable ecosystems, let's pause to engage with the language of the rainforest. Can you unscramble these letters to reveal one of Costa Rica's most extraordinary natural phenomena we've explored? Rio Celeste, the celestial river whose otherworldly blue waters seem to defy natural pigmentation, created by a precise combination of volcanic minerals reflecting light in extraordinary ways. Caribbean rhythms. From volcanic highlands, we journey eastward toward Costa Rica's Caribbean coast. The landscape transforms dramatically. Mountains yield into vast wetlands, vegetation densifying and biodiversity shifting toward amphibious adaptations that thrive in the dynamic interface between land and water. Costa Rica's Caribbean coast moves to different rhythms, influenced by Afro-Caribbean culture. And operating on cycles driven by ancient marine migrations rather than human timelines. This cultural distinction demonstrates how environment shapes human experience, creating regional variations within national identity. Here, accessible only by boat or small aircraft, one of Earth's most ancient rituals continues uninterrupted, a biological imperative that predates human presence and continues despite global environmental change. Turtle tales. Tortuguero, place of turtles, exists as a world apart. Networks of natural canals slice through dense rainforest, creating a watery maze accessible only by boat, preserving ecological conditions that have remained largely unchanged since pre-Columbian times. This thin ribbon of land separates Caribbean waters from an intricate inland waterway system, making it crucial for nesting turtles who require specific conditions rarely found in today's developed world. The preservation of this critical interface exemplifies biocultural conservation, where ecosystem protection harmonises with human communities adapted to place. As darkness falls, Tortuguero reveals its purpose. Under night's cover, ancient reptiles that witnessed the dinosaur age emerge from ocean depths to continue a ritual unchanged. For 100 million years, demonstration of evolutionary stability puts human existence into humbling perspective. A female green turtle weighing nearly 300 pounds returns to the exact beach where she hatched decades ago, employing sophisticated navigational mechanisms that science still doesn't fully understand. Salt tears stream from specialised glands that excrete excess salt absorbed during her marine existence. One of many adaptations allowing movement between oceanic and terrestrial worlds. This physiological feature demonstrates evolutionary solutions to the fundamental challenge of maintaining internal salt balance while moving between radically different environments. From thousands of eggs laid, perhaps one turtle will reach adulthood, yet the species has persisted through dinosaur extinctions and ice ages, until facing unprecedented human threats that operate at timescales incompatible with evolutionary adaptation. Days later, before dawn, the sand moves. Tiny hatchlings emerge en masse, instinctively orienting toward the brightest horizon. In nature, the ocean reflecting moonlight, this innate behavioural programming demonstrates how natural selection embeds sophisticated responses to environmental cues without requiring learning or conscious decision. The lost years begin the mysterious decade that young turtles spend in open ocean before returning to coastal feeding grounds. Navigating thousands of miles using Earth's magnetic field as a map that science is only beginning to comprehend. The park's intricate canal system offers equally compelling experiences. Early morning provides optimal wildlife viewing when temperatures remain cool and animals are most active, demonstrating the temporal partitioning that allows multiple species to utilise the same spatial resources. The canals support manatees, river otters, caiman, and freshwater turtles. Above, the forest hosts jaguars, 3 monkey species, and hundreds of bird varieties, including the endangered great green macaw. This concentration of biodiversity illustrates the ecological principle of edge effects, where terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems meet to create habitat complexity. Early morning boat tours, 5:30 to 8:30 am, maximise wildlife viewing opportunities when animals are most active and temperatures remain cool. Tortuguero village exists because of turtles. Once a hunting community, it transformed into a conservation success story where protection provides more economic value than consumption. This shift demonstrates how economic incentives can align with conservation outcomes when properly structured through policy and education. The distinctive Afro-Caribbean culture differs from Costa Rica's highlands. Descended from Jamaican labourers, the community maintains traditions in food, music and language found nowhere else in the country, creating cultural diversity that parallels the region's biological diversity. The answer to our earlier question: while all factors threaten sea turtles, climate change poses the greatest long-term risk. Rising temperatures skew sex ratios, while rising seas erode nesting habitat, demonstrating how global environmental changes amplify local conservation challenges through complex feedback mechanisms. Tortuguero embodies the complex relationship between humans and nature. Here, an ancient ritual continues because people chose protection over exploitation, benefiting both species and demonstrating how conservation can create regenerative economies that sustain both natural and human communities. The December to April dry season offers optimal hiking conditions. Though wildlife remains abundant year-round, multi-day visits to ranger stations provide the greatest opportunity to experience the park's extraordinary biodiversity. The wild edge. We emerge onto a wild coastline where powerful Pacific waves crash against pristine beaches. Unlike developed shores, Corcovado's coast remains exactly as it has for millennia, providing reference conditions for understanding ecological processes that have disappeared from modified coastlines. This interface between terrestrial and marine ecosystems creates unique habitats. Marine species come ashore, while forest animals venture onto beaches. Creating ecological exchanges impossible in developed coastlines. The transitional zone demonstrates the principle of ecotones. where the overlap between distinct environments creates greater biodiversity than either system alone. 4 pairs of scarlet macaws fly overhead, crimson plumage, electric against deep blue Pacific. Once widespread throughout Central America, these birds have vanished from most of their range, making this population genetically significant for conservation of the entire species. Protection of this peninsula represents Costa Rica's conservation coming of age. When industrial logging threatened to destroy the Osa in the 1970s, the government made a crucial decision to preserve it intact, a choice that seemed economically counterintuitive at the time, but has proven prescient as ecosystem services gain recognition in economic calculations. Dawn in Corcovado offers an auditory experience unlike anywhere else. The transition from night to day happens in distinct waves. First insects diminishing, then early birds, followed by primates announcing territories. This orchestrated succession demonstrates temporal niche partitioning, where species evolve communication systems that minimise acoustic interference. One of Corcovado's most unusual features is bull sharks. That move between ocean and river environments. These adaptive predators tolerate both salt and freshwater, creating unexpected hunting dynamics far inland. Their physiological adaptations demonstrate evolutionary responses to habitat transitions that few vertebrate species have successfully navigated. This wild edge between land and sea represents nature on its own terms, where human presence remains transient and ecological processes continue largely uninterrupted. Corcovado provides a reference ecosystem against which we can measure anthropogenic changes elsewhere, making it invaluable for both conservation and scientific understanding. Regenerative futures. The wild integrity we've witnessed in Corcovado represents Costa Rica's ecological past and present. But to understand its pioneering future, we travel north along the Pacific coast to a community where wilderness preservation and human development have found remarkable harmony. While national parks establish pristine benchmarks, Costa Rica's next conservation frontier lies in creating sustainable communities that regenerate rather than deplete natural systems. Exemplifying how the Pura Vida philosophy scales beyond preserves to working landscapes. The principles that maintain Corcovado's biodiversity find unexpected expression in places where human innovation meets ecological understanding, where the boundary between protected and developed dissolves into something more integrated. This transformation reaches its most visible expression, where international influence meets Costa Rican innovation, creating new models for living that honour the connections we've witnessed throughout our journey. Living bridges, Nosara doesn't resemble typical tropical destinations. There are no high-rises or beachfront development. Instead, buildings nestle into forested hills, connected by trails where howler monkeys still travel through canopies above. Deliberate design choice that maintains wildlife corridors through developed areas. The beaches remain largely undeveloped due to a community agreement established decades ago. Buildings must be set back from the high tide line, preserving both beauty and critical wildlife habitat. This community-driven conservation approach demonstrates how governance systems can emerge from shared values rather than external regulation. The biological corridors are our bloodlines, explains a local conservation leader. These forest connections allow wildlife to move between larger, protected areas, maintaining ecosystem function despite human presence. The corridor concept applies landscape ecology principles at a scale that transcends individual property boundaries, requiring community cooperation. These monkeys serve as living indicators of ecosystem health. Their presence throughout the community demonstrates successful coexistence between human settlement and wildlife, when habitat connectivity remains intact despite development pressure. Visitors can experience this harmonious relationship through eco-lodges integrated into the forest canopy, where solar power and rainwater harvesting minimise environmental impact while maximising connection to natural rhythms. The community has pioneered food forests, agricultural systems that mimic natural forest structure while producing food. Unlike conventional farming, requiring clearing, these systems enhance biodiversity while generating human resources, demonstrating how biomimicry principles can transform food production. Each plant serves multiple functions, explains a farmer. Some fix nitrogen, others repel pests, others attract pollinators. Together, they're more resilient than any monoculture. This systems thinking approach applies ecological principles to agriculture, creating productive landscapes that build rather than deplete natural capital. The community has created a circular economy where waste becomes resource. Fallen trees become furniture. Food scraps feed soil. Water is purified through constructed wetlands. This closed-loop approach mimics natural ecosystems, where outputs from one process become inputs for another, demonstrating biomimetic design principles. As sun sets over the Pacific, distinctions between visitors and locals, human spaces and wild ones, begin to blur. This integration exemplifies Costa Rica's distinctive approach to tourism, where travellers become participants in conservation rather than merely consumers of experience. A child points excitedly to fireflies emerging, symbols of the intact ecosystem that remains because of conscious choices to develop differently. These bioluminescent insects require specific environmental conditions that disappear in conventional development, making their presence powerful indicators of ecological health. The model emerging here offers lessons that transcend borders, showing how human ingenuity can serve regeneration rather than extraction, and communities align economic activities with ecological principles. The Coral Gardens. Beyond Costa Rica's mountains, the Caribbean coast reveals another dimension of conservation. The coral reefs of Cahuita National Park, the crystalline waters, harbour and underwater forest, rivaling the complexity of any terrestrial ecosystem. Cahuita National Park. At dawn, when waters lie perfectly still, branching corals create an intricate three-dimensional architecture, living structures that have built Central America's largest reef system through patience. Measured in millimetres per year, this biological cathedral supports more species per square metre than almost any habitat on Earth, demonstrating nature's extraordinary efficiency in design. The symbiosis between coral polyps and microscopic algae exemplifies nature's ultimate partnership. Neither organism can thrive alone, yet together they transform sunlight and seawater into vibrant ecosystems. A perfect metaphor for Costa Rica's understanding that human and environmental prosperity are indivisible. Along this pristine coastline, in a modest research station built from sustainable bamboo, local Afro-Caribbean women lead coral restoration initiatives that blend ancestral knowledge with cutting-edge science. By identifying microhabitats where corals naturally thrive, their techniques have achieved recovery rates 12 times faster than standard methods. This marriage of traditional wisdom with scientific validation offers a model for conservation worldwide. The Valley of Ancient Wisdom. In the verdant Orosi Valley, terraced hillsides reveal agricultural systems refined across 20 generations, creating living libraries of botanical knowledge that modern science is only beginning to decode. Rio Valley. These carefully designed landscapes integrate coffee cultivation with medicinal plants in arrangements that simultaneously prevent erosion, build soil, and maximise biodiversity. Each slope represents a carefully calibrated ecosystem where every plant serves multiple functions, producing food while regenerating the very conditions that enable continued abundance. These aren't simply farms, but sophisticated ecological technologies, explains ethnobotanist Elena Ramirez, as she indicates patterns invisible to untrained eyes. The placement of each species creates beneficial relationships that eliminate the need for external inputs. Laboratory analysis confirms these traditional methods sequester 42% more carbon while supporting 60% greater species diversity than conventional agriculture. At the valley's heart, nestled between ancient trees, stands a collaborative research sanctuary where forest meets science. Here, traditional healers and medical researchers catalogue plant combinations refined over centuries of empirical observation, documenting therapeutic formulations with efficacy rates that frequently surpass synthetic alternatives. This living pharmacopoeia demonstrates the tangible value of preserving not just biodiversity, but the cultural knowledge systems that understand it. The Quetzal's Promise. Our journey culminates in the cloud-wreathed Salvador Valley, where community conservation has transformed threatened landscapes into a global model for ecological restoration. Salvador Valley. In 3 decades, forest cover here has increased from 31% to over 80%, achieved not through mandate, but through collaborative stewardship. The results speak for themselves. 29 species have returned from local extinction, including a thriving population of resplendent quetzals with nearly 200 breeding pairs, now documented annually. As if embodying this transformation, a male quetzal glides through morning light, its plumage shifting from emerald to sapphire with each wing beat. The bird revered by ancient cultures as a symbol of freedom now represents nature's remarkable capacity for renewal. Through Costa Rica's living laboratory, from misty mountains to vibrant reefs, to regenerative farms, we witness a profound truth. The boundary between human prosperity and ecological integrity is an illusion to be transcended. Conservation succeeds most profoundly when we recognise ourselves as nature protecting its future. Pura vida. 2 simple words that capture it all. The good life emerges not from what we extract, but from what we protect and regenerate. In this bridge between continents, ancient wisdom and modern science converge in a vision of reciprocal flourishing that offers humanity its most promising path forward.